Well, it is an exciting day here in Minnesota as we welcome the newest head coach for the Minnesota Vikings, Mr. Kevin O'Connell. Kevin, congrats on being the new head coach and congrats on the Super Bowl victory this past weekend.
I really appreciate it, man. It's been an unbelievable week, but no more exciting day than today to step foot in this building for the first time. It's been a great day so far.
So you've gotten the tour and everything out the way.
I have. I will say this much. Kwesi's been here 2 weeks longer than me, and we got lost coming back from lunch, so I'll definitely blame him for that. But unbelievable place. The commitment to building a building like this to be functional for the players, but also to help the collaboration and everything we want to get accomplished in this organization. It's all here for us. It's just about going to work now.
Can you walk me through the mindset of preparing for the biggest game in the NFL, preparing for a Super Bowl, but still knowing a few days after the Super Bowl, you got a new exciting journey ahead of you?
It was much easier to take on the challenge knowing the commitment from the Wilf family, from obviously Rob and Kwesi and Andrew, to know that they wanted me to be all in on that game. And it made it that much easier for the Rams to know that I was all in on my commitment to helping us win. And you get all the way to this point where the ultimate goal is the Super Bowl, and to be playing in that game.
Stafford rolling and throwing, caught, touchdown.
To be able to look Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and the rest of our guys in the eye, and they know that you did everything that you could to help us win that game. I'd be lying if I said I haven't had my mind slightly on the future, knowing this opportunity out in front and the amazing opportunity that's going to be.
Yeah, you've been a part of championship caliber teams as a player and now as a coach. Now you're a head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, hoping to bring us to the promised land. But I want to rewind back to 2008 when you were with the Patriots.
Yep.
You were playing behind Tom Brady. Flipped the light switch in your head that you said, hey, I want to start coaching now. What was that light switch that gave you that realization that coaching is going to be after your playing career?
Well, first things first, watching somebody, maybe the greatest to ever live, actually physically perform the job of playing quarterback and saying, wow, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do that. So you see that and you go, hey, maybe I see this coach thing. He gets to wear a hat and a whistle. Maybe that's a little bit more my style. But in all reality, it was the mental understanding of what he was capable of doing, what he was able to, even at that point. I mean, that was a long time ago, even by his career standards, but even seeing where he was at that point of his understanding of not only all 11 on offense, but all 11 on defense, the situations in games, and being completely in control from a masterclass standpoint. It was enough for me, at least from a mental standpoint, to want to be all in on kind of chasing that. And physically, I knew I would never be able to chase it from a standpoint of being, as elite as he is throwing the football and playing the position. But mentally, it would just be work and dedication and being able to, be a sponge around him and many of the other great coaches and players I've been around to kind of help form my football philosophy. And there's no question that I'm sitting here today because of all those guys.
You talk about some of those previous stops, even for coaching. How has that helped you get to this point where you are right now?
I think it's, you take something from everyone you're ever around. Could be as simple as, hearing, Rex Ryan speak to the team the night before a big game, or could go back to even Coach Belichick and how he, introduced us as rookies to the team. Chip Kelly and his dynamic ways of teaching and keeping a team fresh in the sports science approach, and really just learning from a standpoint of truly how I want to build a team culture, the collaboration, the communication, the feeling of coaches and players, and the togetherness that can happen when everybody's all in, and then the ownership of the players that will only help them go play with that quieted mind and spirit on a Sunday to go win football games, because it's really, really hard. But when you're in it all together, and that's you guys too, that's his whole building, it becomes that much easier to go accomplish goals like that. One
thing Sean McVay said is that you are a great leader. So in your eyes, what is the definition of being a great leader?
Well, I think for a coach, it's great to be a leader, but I think your leadership style has to be, clear and it has to have a purpose. And for me, that purpose is, building it through communication, relationships, and having kind of a relentless passion, I would say, to teach, lead, and motivate, and doing it in a positive way, where, no matter who you interact with, maybe it's your quarterbacks in the quarterback room, it could be, up in front of the whole unit or the whole team, whatever it is, or it's just being around your other coaches, you're making those guys be better possible versions of themselves, realizing their potential and providing whatever path you can in your role to help those guys realize that potential. I think that's what it is, and I've had great people do that for me in my life and my career, so it's been a little bit easier to kind of transition to and feeling the positive nature that you get from watching that happen for others.
So, of course, once the buzz started going around that Kevin O'Connell was going to be the new head coach, everybody started watching some former interviews that you did in LA or former in Washington. And I watched the interview that you did a couple of weeks ago, and you said a key to building a winning culture is 3 things: collaboration, communication, consistency. How does that translate to leading this Minnesota Vikings team?
Well, I think first and foremost, the Wolf family has gone out and found a general manager in Kwesi that is, I clicked with him right away. When I tell you that, I mean, you can ask anybody who was in there. He was not a part of the first interview, but then the second interview out in LA, to know that I was going to be working alongside him. We've had a prior relationship, but to really feel like, just the personalities connect and the football minds. He's so intelligent, he's so smart, but he's worked so hard to know the game at a very, very high level. So even when we started talking ball in the interview, it was a very natural conversation where you could see disagreements may or may not happen, but it's never going to keep us from moving towards the common collaboration and goals that we're going to have to build this thing the right way. If you have that on a daily basis in a building as special as this, I think the only thing you need to worry about as a leader at that point is the consistency, like you said, of all that coming together in a way where you truly are doing it on a daily basis, trusting the process, overcoming adversity, which will happen to everybody. We experienced it this past year, and we were able to overcome it. Every team in this league is going to have that hit from time to time, but if it's built right and the foundation is set at the top with the leadership in place, I think we'll have a great chance for success.
Have you had a chance to look at this roster with Kwesi or on your own yet?
I have. I think it's one where obviously we prepared to play these guys not that long ago on the defensive side, which was a big time challenge, and then obviously knowing the offensive weapons and the skill players and some foundational pieces up front. There's a lot to like about this roster. It's one of the huge things that drew me to trying to get this job.